Hello and welcome to episode 63 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm your host, Brad Davidson, with my co-host, Raquel. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, episode 63.
How about
I thought
that?
it was 274, but I must have.
Well, you were just off by a couple.
Just a couple. Feels like 274.
I can understand that.
Yeah. How's everything going?
Good.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So we want to explore microplastics today.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah.
All that fun stuff.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's dive in.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we get into that, anything else cool going on? Anything exciting you want to talk about?
Well, it doesn't really, it kind of goes into it. Maybe we'll talk about that after. I was saying there's a few products that I really like right now.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know me, I am all about mitigating all of the environmental crap, all of the maybe controllable, maybe not so controllable, but stacking the deck in your favor. That is definitely how I like to operate, and definitely have gotten even more that way as I've aged because I realize you kind of have to be.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you because after our conversation about microplastics and everything we're going to talk about today, I've been made fully aware that my underwear are wrong.
Big brother.
Yeah.
Right on. Big
I'm
brother.
getting all these ads telling me that my underwear are full of pesticides and microplastics and BPA, and I'm going to be...
and your sperm count's low now.
Yeah, and erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, well, I changed my underwear. Well, I do change it on a regular basis, actually. Yes, yeah. No, but I changed the type I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Actually, my daughter told me about them. It's a brand called Hoo Ha. Yeah. And it came about because it's the real truth. I swear.
A great name.
I know. And it came about because I think this woman was having a lot of issues with UTIs and things, recurring, and realized that, a lot of the underwear that we wear are not great for the biome down for the kitty. So these for the hoo-ha. So these are more kitty friendly, but they have like a zinc lining.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and it's been good. I mean, they're not Victoria's Secret level,
Like
so
grandma panties?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They have thongs. They have both, but I started, because wearing even there's microplastic in our leggings that we all wear, and some of us wear them all day long.
Yeah.
So I try now that I'm more aware of that, I try and I wear them, teach my class, and then get right out of them.
Yeah.
It's not something. And then you got to let the little girl breathe. Well, don't you like the boys to breathe?
Well, yeah, of course.
Exactly. That's healthy.
There's this whole thing in the men's health world.
Yeah.
Of
sunning
the goods.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. There's a guy on Instagram that talks about that.
Yeah.
Okay, now what is the rationale behind that?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
You've not
I haven't looked into it. I'm not in my
nuts.
backyard sunning myself. Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know.
I have heard that too, but I haven't heard why it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just see it. I'm like, oh God, I'm not, sorry, I'm not doing that.
You're not.
I'm not hanging out in my backyard. On
Your
my
neighbors
back.
might like you.
Yeah. Well, the sunning position, you lay on your back and you hold your knees up to your chest.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. And at first I thought it was a joke. But
Me
that's
too, but it's a real thing,
It's
I
real.
guess.
It's kind of like a grounding thing, sort of, right? But you're getting maybe the vitamin D right to where it needs to go. I don't know.
Right to the goods.
Well,
could you imagine walking in your backyard and your husband's out there just sunning it off?
No, because
no one wants to see that.
No, and also he already thinks that I'm nuts. So, which you're going to get to find out more about him because he's going to be our guest.
Next episode, I can't wait for that. It's going to be a fun conversation on young athletes.
Yep, and also talking about he hides Oreos in the freezer. He hides Oreos in the freezer. He does. Yeah. Now, not because he thinks I won't find them there. That's not why.
Yeah.
It's because he likes them really cold.
We have a special bond.
I know.
Circus animal cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, can you tell me what it is about those that is so good?
I don't know.
You honestly couldn't.
It's like my
It's your crack. Is it really?
Yeah.
So if someone really wanted to give you a special treat, that's what they would give you?
Well, if they wanted to see me in my addiction process, yeah.
Is it really like that? Would you
my
just
God.
start going?
I can't stop.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can get the big bag and just go.
Oh, house them.
Wow.
And then I'm sick as a dog later. But
yeah.
And once I have one, I can't stop.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the kryptonite, huh?
It's my kryptonite.
Interesting.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's so exciting about that. They must have red dye number 20 or whatever that one is that just got banned.
I think it's red dye number 3,
Is
right?
it 3? I don't know. But one of the red dyes just got
I think
banned.
it was red dye number 3 that just got banned.
Okay, so
I'm sure it does.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure
now
it has
they're
a
going to
little bit
have
of everything in there.
a little bit of
Probably
everything.
foliar microplastics. And
Definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have all the major men issues, like my underwear, circus animal cookies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're aware. That's the first step. Anyway.
All right, let's dive into
Okay.
microplastics and kind of all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you start.
You're gonna let me start.
I'll be honest with you.
You don't
I've
know.
never I know a lot about like bisphenol A and parabens and phthalates.
Right.
When I speak, I talk a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the microplastics things, I never.
Well, I'm just learning, so I'm going to give that disclaimer so that if I say things that are incorrect, that people don't come at me in the comment section. But I do realize that it's all around us, and we cannot change that. When you just start to think about how much is plastic in our world, it is wild. First of all, and so it's not like you can get away from it.
Yeah.
So I just think that being mindful and doing some things that you're not drinking your water every day out of a plastic water bottle, because apparently the heating process is what makes things sort of leach into the water.
Yeah.
Yes. So, people think, oh, but this has been in the cold refrigerator for so long.
Yeah.
Well, then it sits in your car, or it's in the hot yoga studio, or when it was on the pallets, how hot did it? Yeah, exactly. So it's never great to have a plastic water bottle. Number one, I would say that's an easy thing to get rid of. But you think about it, they're in the air, and thanks to these horrible fires that have been going on, and you think about everything that was burned, electronics and all these things, all of the things that have been released into the air, no bueno. So that's scary.
Yeah.
So then there's all that stuff too. And, it's it's very easy for me to want to be boy in the bubble. It's once I find out a little bit of information, I'm really good at running with it, which is why I gave up eating animal products for so long, which is why I gave up, I'm never going to eat fish now. I'm never going to eat red meat. I am really good at when I get some information, just, okay, if that's it, I'm running with it.
Yeah.
Until someone shows me this other thing and says, oh, well, look at this,
Yeah.
cue me being a red meat eater after 30 years, So it's really easy for me to really spin out.
Yeah.
But
well, and that's an issue that I see.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of people that they're so overwhelmed. Everything's bad for us.
I know.
And how do you live and get rid of it? And they're so stressed trying to...
Which becomes the problem too.
Yeah, all the information of this is bad for this is bad.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of it all, that it's causing a massive stress cycle where people are just constantly worried about...
Right.
That was one of the reasons, with microplastics, I've heard about it years ago.
Yes.
And so I don't heat my food up in a plastic container.
But I've been told that forever.
Yeah.
Right? You don't put it in a microwave because it's going to melt anyway.
Well, I always notice it's going to leach the plastics and the negative stuff into the food, or with the water, same thing. So try to, heat your food up in glass, keep your food in glass, drink your water out of glass.
Yes.
So I've known all about that, but that was just one of those things. It's like, okay, I'm going to do a couple things to help myself with it, but I didn't want to spin out on it.
Totally.
And freak myself out. Well, great. How do I get rid of all this stuff?
Yeah.
Everything's just going to kill me.
Right.
So I've tried to sometimes less is more blissful.
No brain, no headache is what I call that.
Yeah.
Or you don't know. What you don't know doesn't hurt you. Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me is that, I was listening to a podcast about this, and, we're inhaling it all the time, these particles. So, what can't do anything about that, unless you're walking around with an N95 mask all of the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess you could have a HEPA filter in your home. I mean, I think there's little things you can do. A lot of them can be, you do start to sweat it out. So being in, the hot yoga studio is probably a good thing. It comes out through your urine. I guess it can be tested, interestingly.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was in urine or semen for men. But anyway,
I think you said it was semen when we were talking about it. Because I asked, how do you test for this stuff?
Right. And I guess
how do you know if what you're doing is helping or not?
This is just, they're just starting to realize that there are issues with, really, like you've said before, it takes a long time for things to really get, like how long has it taken for this dye to be banned? Where in other countries it's been banned forever.
Yeah.
That's
in
wild.
America, it's been really easy for them to bring a new compound into the environment,
Yes.
really hard to get that compound
Yes.
out once they've
Yes.
found it's not good for us. I'm
Yes.
hoping that will change
Yeah.
with some of the changes going on, but
So, agree.
the more focus on
Right.
getting America healthy
Yes.
again.
Yes. I like
I'm
that.
hoping that some of that stuff
Agree.
will be
Yeah.
kind of criticized and dealt with.
Well, you think about the Roundup. How many times did you get an email about, oh, if you were, and I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Or, the water at Camp Lejeune or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these things. And I even think about people in these, I mean, there's definitely environmental things that you cannot really deal with. I mean, cannot affect. But, like you just said, it's easy to have a glass or stainless steel water container.
Mitigate
That's
as
easy.
much as you
Yes,
can.
and also you can have a water filtration system because tap water is no bueno anymore.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
I love my water my Kangen water system. That's a huge thing. I love it.
Yeah.
I of course right away after I was listening to this podcast, I'm texting Jasmine that told that to me, and I said, "Hey, how much of microplastics does this take care of?" She says 99%. I'm like, okay. Some of them are so small. These nanoparticles are, I don't know. I guess if there's, like you said, if we're taking care of some of it, it's kind of like cigarette smoking. Remember when everybody smoked cigarettes? And I mean, like your doctor would walk into the office smoking, talking to you, hey, what's wrong? All right. And now it's like you're a pariah if you smoke a cigarette. I guess everybody vapes now, but anyway. But I mean, it takes a long time for that tide to change, for people to really realize, oh, this may not be the best case scenario. And I guess I just like to be, because it can affect things like fertility.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people, I hear a lot of people having issues with fertility nowadays. So you want to, I think, be just, have your eyes open. That's all. And be open to listening to some of the things, I guess it's absorbed. I wrote notes here and I'm not seeing, it absorbs 10 to 20% more in your brain, the plastics. I don't know about you, but I don't want my brain absorbing that kind. No, really.
No,
Yeah. And some people would be like, well, if it doesn't make me fat, I don't care.
Right.
But now, you start thinking about Alzheimer's and all of those things and, what affects what.
Yeah.
And you're right. Everything is going to kill us now because the world that we lived in, or the people lived in 1950s, 1960s, vastly different, right? In
all facets.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Things were much slower. Things were, you knew what butter really was, and everything it's weird.
Yeah.
That's why when people say, "Gosh, it was so great back then," I loved the 80s. I really
too.
did. Yeah, but I don't know.
Less stressful too.
Oh my gosh, so crazy.
I dug a lot into like endocrine disruptors.
Yep.
So for me, like, okay, one of the big things that I wanted to focus on was what are the things that are disrupting our hormones?
Right.
So things like bisphenol A.
Yep. Which is leached.
Yeah. That's like, so baby bottles used to be made of BPA. That's been, that's been banned.
Yeah.
Parabens is a big one. Especially methylparaben. I like methylparaben because you can look for it on product. It's in things like shampoos and soaps and moisturizers. So you can look at the ingredients and see if there's methylparaben. Specifically, there's multiple forms of paraben, but methylparaben is the one that is found in the highest concentrate in breast cancer tissue. It's an endocrine disruptor, an estrogen generator.
Yeah.
So I like for people to focus on that, get it out.
Yeah.
Another one is phthalate. Starts with a P, like PTH, phthalate. That one's harder because it can be hidden under the word fragrance. You don't have to have it on the product. But another endocrine disruptor, which can affect things like estrogen dominance, can cause testosterone to lower. Yeah. So I spoke a lot to my CEO groups about those products.
Yeah.
So you can now go to like Target and find products that are paraben and phthalate free.
Yeah.
I think that's a simple example of, okay, let's get these things out that we don't need to be exposed to.
Right. And even your cleaning products.
Yeah, cleaning
same
products.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, if you can find, which I love. When I wrote my book, I actually talked a lot about this. And back then, you had to like scour the internet to find them.
I bet.
Where again, like now, literally, you can walk into Target and find that stuff.
And I think there's a website where you can look up
EWG.org. I was just going to talk about it. They actually have an app called Think Dirty. It's a great name.
Yeah.
I've had lots of clients. What the hell is this? No.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You can just scan the barcodes of products, and it'll give it a rating.
Cool.
So I tell people like, hey, just grab that app, scan the barcodes of products, and if it says endocrine disruptor, get it out.
Yep.
But it's an easy way. I mean, it's not easy to get.
It's an extra step for sure. But
But I think it's valuable.
Yeah.
Again, with the microplastics, I just kind of made the choice of, okay, I won't heat things up in plastic. I'll use glass as much as possible.
Well, you know, it was interesting. This podcast I was listening to. The host asked this doctor, okay, so we don't become boy in the bubble. What are some things that we can do? And those were exactly some things that you could, absolutely. But one thing she says, get rid of all the black plastic.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, because I guess that typically is the recycled electronics made into, you know, all the things. So it's really high in these, you know, these chemicals that once leached or not, and then you add the heat component. And so I'm like, oh my God, I have so many black plastic spatulas and, you know, all these things, spoons, and holy cow. Yeah. And now my husband loves when I get rid of things. But I think when I start pulling, you know, like the Teflon pans, no bueno, I'm like, no, we are using stainless steel. We are using the, you know, cast iron or whatever. But, you know, we all want that nonstick, whatever. Well, you have to season.
Yeah, explain that to people.
Okay.
I had never heard of this before.
I didn't know.
Because that's been my biggest complaint with the stainless steel is like everything sticks.
Yeah. So what I think it should come with a little, you know, a note that it says how to do it. Yeah. But I had to look it up on the internet, and it just basically what I did was you heat your pan up on medium or medium high, and once it gets hot, then you add, you know, a pretty good amount of coconut oil or something that has a high smoking level or high whatever that is called. Yeah. I'm saying it wrong, but anyway. And then you kind of swirl around the coconut oil, and then once it starts smoking, then you turn it off and take it off of the flame and let it cool completely. And you know it's cool completely when you can see your reflection back in the pan. And then you just pour out any that's not hardened, and then you wipe out the rest, and then it's ready to go.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you can add, you know, butter or ghee or whatever, or even more coconut oil to it. But I thought, okay, here we go, big test, and it worked. And then you just can't wash it with soap. You have to just rinse it out and use a sponge, and then you can redo it anytime that it starts to not be working.
Nice.
Yeah.
Random question.
Yes,
for
sir.
You. I am not a cook.
Yeah, nor am I.
I don't know a lot about all this stuff, but I remember, it's a question because I remember I was at a seminar in Rhode Island, and I was staying in a hotel that had a kitchen, had all that stuff. I heat the pan up.
Yep.
And I threw the coconut oil in there, and boom, just lit up in a fire.
Yikes.
What is that? Something has to. I'm pretty sure it was stainless steel.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Did you? So you let the pan get really hot?
It must have gotten too hot. Is that what I did wrong?
I assume. I mean, again.
And like an idiot, then I take it and I put it under the faucet versus smothering it.
And it starts, you know, everywhere.
Burn the whole hotel down.
Oh my God.
But I just panicked. I'm like, I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
As soon as the coconut oil hit the pan, it went up in flames.
Oh boy.
Okay,
so we might have had the pan heated up a little too hot.
Yeah, so that may be something to be aware of?
Yeah,
okay.
Perhaps. Yeah. Yeah,
that was, I'm glad no one was in the room witnessing that. And I'm glad, like, the choice I made to put underwater was stupid.
Well,
I just reacted.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Like I said, burned the whole place down.
For sure. Yikes. But yeah, so it's you know, it's harder to, you know, it's easy to grab a Teflon pan or nonstick pan and just, you know, do it up. But when you start thinking about what that's leaching into your food, it's probably not best case scenario.
Yeah. I also, that's why I'm another big fan of focusing on like things that can help with daily detoxification.
Yeah.
So like I said, you brought up the sauna or the hot yoga, things that get you to sweat.
Sure.
Making sure you're staying plenty hydrated so you're cleaning it out through your urine. Even breathing causes, can help with detoxification of that stuff. Yeah. But I'm a really big fan of focusing on the things that can help detoxify these things out, because you can't get away from them.
No.
The answer is not to become bubble boy and try to hide from all of it or get rid of it all. You can't.
Yeah, because the bubble is going to be plastic.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
And you're going to sweat when it's all around you.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, you can't get away from it. Don't freak out over it.
No.
Just, mitigate what you can. Yeah. Focus on making sure you're supporting your detoxification pathways, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah. And I really love, I think I've talked about Philip Buttercup in here before.
Yeah.
But it is a place that you can get all clean products for your body, your face, your cleaning products, and I love it. And it's a refillable place. So you can either take your own containers in and fill them up, or you can buy one there and fill it up and then bring it back. I love it. So I have cut down everything that I clean. Sometimes there's a little soft scrub involved if something is, but not very often. Everything is really clean products, and I love it. It's because a lot of that stuff has, fragrance and stuff that we don't need either. That's a whole nother thing,
Oh, one reference point I always like to talk about this. Axe body spray is full of phthalates, which is a testosterone. Yeah. So if your kid wears Axe body spray, get it out.
Yeah.
I would always joke like, oh yeah, well the girls dig it. I'm like, okay, well great. You're going to spray that stuff on. Girls are going to dig it and you're not going to care.
Yeah.
So get it out.
What's the testosterone levels of boys today versus when you were young? It's super low.
Horrifically low. So I see men that are like in their 70s with higher testosterone levels than a lot of my guys in their 20s and early 30s.
Crazy?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's
so
a
that
big
kind of
problem.
stuff matters.
It matters a lot.
Yeah.
Like I really spent a lot of time teaching my younger guys how to optimize their testosterone levels and keep them in a good place.
Right.
Because it's pretty sad how low men's testosterone levels are at younger ages right now. It should not be happening.
No.
But it is.
Yeah.
That's, eat the protein, make sure you're sleeping, watch these things like the parabens
Get
and
off
phthalates.
Pornhub.
Yeah. Even like, be careful with the video games. Like you see like boys playing like with the wireless remotes and they're in their crotch, like sitting there all day long. That can cause issues.
Well, that's another thing. All electronics emit so much bad crap too.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I have.
Yeah. Be careful with alcohol intake because that causes testosterone levels to plummet.
Yeah.
Back then, when guys in their 70s, when they steak and eggs for breakfast, like all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't, they had no problem sleeping because there was nothing else to do. Like, I remember being a kid and you can only watch cartoons on Saturdays or Sunday mornings.
There wasn't video games and all. I mean,
no.
What was the very first one?
The Atari,
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that was, I remember Miss Pac-Man. That was more like a arcade game. Yeah. But there wasn't so much. The electronic thing has gone crazy.
Yeah, we slept better. We weren't as stressed. You left work and you left work. They couldn't get they couldn't get a hold of you till the next day in the office. Yeah. There wasn't as much information overload.
Right.
So it was much easier to have optimal hormones 30 years ago than it is now.
Right. Remember when my son? I don't remember if I shared it in here. I think I did. Wanted to get a flip phone. He wanted to get off of his smartphone, and that lasted for a couple months, and then it was off. But I mean, I think it was a good experiment for him to see that.
I did that a while back too.
Did you?
Yeah, but you can't live your life on that anymore.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's run off the smartphone. Like I was trying to travel like without a smartphone. I just gave up because it was too hard.
Well, everything's got to be an app. Everything's got to be a damn app.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But, like you said, we're doing the best we can and try not to spin out. And I don't know, of all the clients and people that am I the biggest spin out person? You can be honest. Be honest.
I mean, you're up there.
Am I like an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10?
You're in the top 5%.
Okay.
I do have some that are worse than you.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. So you mentioned a book, podcast 2 ago called The Reset, 5 Resets or something like that.
Yes.
I bought it and I'm reading it.
Okay.
Because what I am seeing, one of the biggest issues I'm dealing with is mental emotional stress impacting the metabolism. And it's like you start realizing all these things that people are spinning out on, stressed out of their minds over. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're in that state. You can't beat it with exercise and nutrition.
Right.
Because your stress cycles are raising havoc internally. And so it's really, really hard. Like I just can't stress this enough to people. If we would just apply strategies to bring stress levels down, we'd have a much easier time losing weight, dropping body fat, feeling happier, all those things. But we are so focused on spinning out and trying to do all the right things and working out really hard. And
Right.
Shit, settle down.
All the things.
Yeah.
So if you had to put it in a hierarchy or in a 1 through 5, you're going to say the calm down goes way before phthalates and BPA and all the
stress is the biggest.
Yeah. So worrying
issue.
About it is worse.
Yes, it's not. It is not helping. And I mean, I can't tell you like how many, especially women, have a tendency more to worry about the all the what ifs.
Yeah.
Where guys are kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Which can become a problem as well.
Right.
I'm having a really hard time helping women drop body fat or lose weight.
Well, we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
This little area that just does not want to go away. Yeah.
Yeah. And stress is like the number one biggest roadblock, but I can't get people to grasp that.
Yeah.
Like
well, I think it's not that we don't grasp it. It's that we don't know how to let go of that. Because it's one thing, okay, Brad, I'm all in. I believe you. There's no part of me that doesn't believe that is the number one offender.
Yeah.
Really. But it's like, okay, okay, I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But to ask people to, hey, no, don't work out more. Go meditate. Go for a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Like, well, but I gotta get my workout in. Like, well, I'm if I don't, I'm gonna my body fat's not gonna go down. I'm like, is it going down now?
Yeah.
Well, no, but I gotta do more. Like, no, like you've done more, and it's not working.
Right.
So let's try something else.
Yeah.
And once I get someone to buy in and do it and put more emphasis on the relaxation, the rest, the recovery, it's okay to have some us time, some me time.
Yeah.
It's really, really effective, man or woman.
Yeah.
But everyone, it's not sexy. This is what I don't understand is like, you'll go punish yourself at the gym. And if I say, you know what, if you just go work out 2 more times a week, you're going to win. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
But if I say, no, I need you to go meditate 2 times a week versus more work, that can't. No. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like at a point, like a breaking point where it's like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
But no one wants to hear that's the answer.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to use myself as this example. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I've made a lot of strides to, cut back my workouts. I've cut back the crazy classes I'm teaching. I've, embraced this less is more. I am 100% okay with taking a day off if I'm not working out. That is such a huge thing for me. I used to spin out about that. Oh my God. And totally fine. I do still have a hard time when I'm traveling, and I have to eat something that I don't really want to eat. That I still will stress out about. But I remember you saying to me, just eat it because you're going to the stress is going to be more detrimental.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get our brains to do that.
Yeah.
When you're a freak like me, no, I'm good at that. I'm really good at that. And probably the people you're talking about are too. It's like, it's not because we don't want to buy in, Brad. Yeah. It's because, okay, we're trying, I'm buying in, but not really, you know what I mean? Our brains are going,
Can't be right.
Yeah.
That can't be the answer.
Yeah.
Because we've been told for so long it's a lack of effort thing or a lack of a discipline thing.
Yeah.
But I just
No, but I don't, no, I'm going to disagree with that. For me, I don't think there's a lack of effort on my part anymore. I don't think that. It's what I mean is I'm still saying, okay, I got to bring my stress down. I've been working with Shelby, getting the adrenals in check, all the things. And still, I know I'm more stressed than I should be. Well, that's what I mean.
We live in a very high stress world.
I know.
But okay, you do a great job at it.
And still not happy with the job I do.
If we take 50 women that are 10 years younger than you, all the way through, like from 10 years younger than you to 10 years older than you.
Okay.
And we put them in a room with you.
Okay.
And everyone's in workout gear. You're going to look drastically better than them.
Not everybody.
If we took 50 women, 10 years younger than you up to 10 years older than you.
Okay. So some my age is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that range.
Okay. Yeah.
And we just picked 50 off the streets.
So you're going to Disneyland and picking 50.
Yeah.
Or the Ontario airport.
And you all are in workout gear.
Okay.
Like the sports bra and the
leggings.
The leggings.
Look, you didn't know what they were called.
Sorry. Good thing I don't know what they're called. It means I don't own any.
Yeah.
You're going to drastically stand out in that realm.
Well, it depends on where we are. Brad, I'm telling the truth. Did you pick 50 people? If you were not watching this, you should see Brad is very frustrated right now. No, I'm saying, are you picking 50 random people in New York City, in Los Angeles, or in
anywhere?
Oshkosh Bagosh. I mean,
anywhere. I've spoken there before.
Have you really?
In Oshkosh, Wisconsin? Okay. Yes, I have. I'm talking anywhere.
Okay. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not doing okay. I'm not saying I'm not doing well. I just, then that becomes the thing of, I just would like to look like I'm 45, not 60. It's just, the body's going to do what the body's going to do. I'm doing the best I can. I know. So thank you for saying that. But
okay, if we take 50, 45-year-olds,
okay,
you're going to be in the top 3%.
Okay.
Like that, everything you're doing is working.
Yeah, I know. I'm just being hypercritical. Hypercritical.
You're comparing yourself to when you're 25 or 35.
No, I would even say 43. 43 is what, in my mind, I was really in killer shape.
Okay.
43. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I was doing all the wrong things. I remember going on my honeymoon with Matt and doing 2-a-days on my honeymoon.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be relaxing.
Had the whole menopause thing kicked in
Oh,
yet?
hell no. That wasn't for 10 more years.
Okay. So, that means, so that changes things.
Right. Oh, I know. And I will even tell you that since we worked together at that gym and now, okay, so what was what year was that? That was 2020, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even from 5 years ago, I feel a big difference.
Yeah.
In how things are and how what's easier, what's not as it's everything is harder. Everything. And people don't get that. They don't get that it's really it's uphill battle. It is. Yeah. It is.
But you look better now than you did 5 years ago. You showed me the picture before your surgery. You were very puffy and inflamed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I think that could have to do with the breast implants.
Okay.
Don't you? I mean, that's plastic. It's plastic.
It could have been that. It could be because you've drastically reduced the amount you've trained.
Yeah.
One common thing I see with people that over-exercise is they're puffy.
Yeah.
They're puffy.
And it's not weight per se, right? It's just inflammation.
It's water retention, inflammation. The body's fighting to try to heal itself. It's not being allowed to happen,
right.
So the body's protecting itself.
Right.
So you see people that over-exercise over time, they tend to look puffy.
Yeah.
People that do a lot of HIIT classes over time, if you look at like kind of a span of pictures, they start to look puffy. But
even to that HIIT class point, remember I was telling you that, I was hearing this information that maybe that's good.
Yeah.
And you had to say to me, whoa, that's not for this group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's you always have to look at who was the study done on, like what population of people are we looking at?
Right.
What person are you giving advice to? I'll use an example of everyone hears a lot about zone 2 exercise and how important that is. And
which is what? Is that 80%?
It's 80, like 75 to 80% of 1 RM.
Okay, of your total of your
maximal heart rate.
Okay, maximal. Okay.
That methodology is used for people to help bring resting heart rate down and blood pressure down. So it's a great tool for people that are high stressed and in more of a sympathetic loaded state. I had someone new that I started to work with, and we're going through her evaluation, and super low resting heart rate.
I know her.
Super low blood pressure. Yes, you do. And she's asking me like about zone 2 and how hard of a zone the time it is for her to get to zone 2 and all this stuff. I'm like, I wouldn't recommend zone 2 for you.
Yeah.
Like, why would we want to apply that strategy that would bring you already have a super low resting heart rate, super low blood pressure.
Yeah.
It kind of mimics ultra marathon runners, ultra endurance athletes. They have they're more in a parasympathetic dominant state. So why would you give that person more things to push them in a more parasympathetic? I would tell this person, one advice I'm giving her is like, we're not going to do a whole lot of that. You're going to do more of the HIIT style training. You're going to do more interval-based training. We need to stimulate you a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
So there's some advice out there. It's great advice for endurance-based athletes that are out of balance parasympathetically. Yeah, you give them more zone 2 work, you're going to make them worse.
Yeah.
You need to give them high-intensity-based work to bring them back into balance. It's very critical to understand. If someone comes in and their resting heart rate's high and their blood pressure's high, I'm not going to give them a bunch of HIIT workouts because that's just going to make it worse.
Right.
Which is most people.
Yeah, of course.
Most of us aren't ultra endurance athletes.
Yeah.
And most of us genetically don't have super low resting heart rate, super low blood pressure. So it all comes down to like, who are you talking to? Who are you working with?
Right. And that's why I think it's so important to know and to really customize what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Which is another great thing. Shout out the weight room.
Yeah.
That you guys do that.
100% we do that.
That is not just like, okay, here's 20 people and you guys are all doing the same thing in the same way. This is what's happening. That there's actually, you should talk about that there are steps that are taken to customize that so that it is not just, your turn and burn.
Yeah. So the whole point of the weight room was we wanted to bring high-level personal training individualization into more of a small group class setting. Yes. I say small group because we cap out at 12. And what we do is every person goes to an evaluation. So we know
which means what?
Which means we get an idea of what your goals are, what your symptoms are dealing with, if you have lab work, everything that you're dealing, where you're at and where you want to be.
Right.
And then from there, we create a custom nutrition plan,
so that's not the movement-based thing that you do too?
There's movement-based stuff as well.
Okay,
because we not everyone moves the same.
Right.
For one person, a back squat, they're very good at it and it's very safe. For another person, they might be bad at it. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to have the person that's bad at it get under a back squat bar and just force it.
Yeah.
We're just going to hurt that person.
Right.
So the evaluation gives us, it looks at the structure, nutrition, metabolically, anything they have that we can pull on them.
Right.
And then we have the information, we know where they want to go. And then we create customization within the workout. Right. So for example, if we have back squat, we like to back squat.
Yeah.
It's one of our primary movements.
And we should.
When they go in to do the back squat workout, they know where they're at. We broke it down into 4 or 5 different zones.
Okay.
And depending on how you test out, tells us what zone is safe for you.
Now, by zone, you mean the way you're going to approach the exercise?
Yeah, we build regressions in.
Oh, got it.
So if feet flat on the floor, back squat is zone 1.
Okay.
I can't even do that.
Really?
No, I'm in a zone 2 where I have to elevate my heels.
Tight calves.
It just, it's
that Achilles is like, zzz.
Yeah, it's not the safest movement for me.
Okay.
I elevate my heels 10 degrees.
Okay.
It's now very safe for me.
Okay.
I don't know if I can ever get the mobility to move into a zone 1. That's okay, but some people will test out more of like a zone 4. And then what we're trying to do is, okay, we know you can get the movement down in that specific style safely.
Yep.
And as you get better at it, we're going to move you up the zones.
Oh, okay.
So we build individuality into the workouts on the dangerous types of movements.
Got it.
So we don't force movement.
I like it.
And so people figure out, oh, your class is so expensive. I'm like,
well, you're getting a lot.
A hell of a good deal. If you see what my one-on-one clients pay to get this kind of structure, it's a hell of a great deal. There's nowhere else you're going to go that you're going to get this customization built in that focuses on you. And same thing, we look at heart rate, all that stuff, and then we'll recommend, okay, here's the best way for you to do cardiovascular training outside of here. Hey, here are the best strategies for you to create stress resiliency in your life. Here are the best supplements to help balance you out. Here are the best peptides that could help with your situation.
Yeah.
And hey, and that's if you're interested in peptides, go see a specialist in peptides because they can really help. We have a lot of people get a lot of success with that. You're not going to get that information anywhere in any kind of class scenario.
True.
And then and then we build the periodization and the programming to help people progress.
Yeah. So before someone, if they just come in and they try it out, they haven't had that evaluation yet, correct?
So we offer a 2 weeks at $99.
Oh, okay.
I want people to have a little skin in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And you basically come in, you get the evaluation, you get everything done, you get 2 weeks of classes to try it out and see what you like.
Yep.
And we tell people, end of the 2 weeks, if it's not for you, you don't like it, here's your $99 back.
Oh, really?
If you like it and you want to progress in a membership, we'll take $99 off of your first month's membership.
Wow. Okay.
It's just buy-in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's hard to convince people. Just come try it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
See everything we're going to give you.
Right.
And then compare it to all the other classes you've done and tell me it's not drastically different. In all honesty, it's better than 99% of what you're going to get from a personal trainer.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Jay and I and
you guys
Jared
have taken a lot
and
of
Vanessa,
time.
our whole crew has spent so much time creating this environment. And then there's a max 12 people so we can pay attention to what's going on. We can correct technique. You're not just throwing shit around and working out really hard. That's super. I can't tell you how many people it's kind of good for my business, all these crazy classes that are out there because people get jacked up by them all the time.
Yeah. Not jacked up. Jacked.
No, like hurt. Like back,
not jacked.
Yeah. No, not like good jacked, like bad jacked. Like can't stand up straight because the back's thrown out.
Right.
I mean, but hey,
if you've ever been to one of those and you see how form is for
pure
most,
chaos.
It's pure chaos.
It is.
You're right.
It is. But if there's 35 to 60 people in a room as a coach, you can't pay attention to any of that.
Or even 25. I think it was 25, right?
Even 25. Yeah. I mean, how do you watch 25 people move at high speeds?
Especially when they're, partner swapping.
Yeah, and everyone's doing different exercises.
Yeah. It's very hard.
I mean, if someone's doing it really bad,
then you can
see it and go correct it. Yeah. But customization is really important. To have a plan that's created specifically for you is the best thing I could create that wasn't an individualized one-on-one experience. But that's a lot of work, so it costs a lot of money. I didn't go learn this stuff for free.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's I've spent so much money over the years learning how to do this. It's like, hey, look, if you want to go drop 250 grand, you can go learn it all too. But that's why most trainers don't understand it is because they might have got a weekend certification and now they're certified and they work out themselves and they implement it.
Yeah.
And the most important thing that I've learned is that we are all not the same.
That's huge.
What I recommend to people is really not what I do for myself.
Right.
Some people fall into the same categories as me, and what I like to do for myself works for them. But I'm smart enough to realize, okay, I need a lot of zone 2 work. The new person I was telling you about, this is going to be super ineffective for her.
I think you can say her name. She won't mind.
Just what's going to balance her out, what's going to balance me out are drastically different.
Totally.
And so that's where I think the customization has to come into play. Nobody wants to go to a doctor and have the doctor tell everybody to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I don't need to see your labs. I don't need to do any symptomology.
Yeah.
I just know you need to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how do you know that?
You're right. And like we said, if the people that are coming to you are 30, you could probably do anything and something's going to work, right?
100%.
Right?
If the focus is fat loss.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just start going. I mean, I can remember 30 some odd years ago when, I guess it's been about 30, when I started spinning. Yeah. It was just starting to get popular, and we spun back then we did it out of the saddle. You never sat down. It was all go, 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 go. I got so lean from doing that. But I do 2 a days, go me.
Yeah.
And I think about that now, what that would be like if I were trying to do that now.
Right.
Nutty.
But your hormonal reserves aren't where they used to be.
Yeah.
Your stress levels are way different.
Right. That's why I'm saying this type of program that you're speaking of that you guys do at the weight room is you're not getting 30-year-olds for the most part.
No, I purposely market to 35 and over.
Yeah.
I want people that are kind of middle-aged.
Yep.
That
have already done the stuff.
They've already done all this stuff and they realize it's not working for them.
Yeah.
But now they want a good situation that will create positive change.
Right.
And that's the group I'm going for.
Yep.
Like, I cannot train like I trained when I was 35.
Sure.
I mean, when I was 33, I was on the U.S. bobsled team, training like a freaking moron.
Right.
And like 30 pounds heavier, crazy strong.
I need to see a photo of that.
I'll find one.
Please. You've said that before. I need to see a photo. Does your mom have it? Do I need to reach out to her?
No, but you know what? It was like the smartphones weren't out yet. It was still the
so
flip
you
phones.
actually have a photograph that you need to find for me.
Yeah, and I actually have a video that a buddy of mine took from a flip phone of one of my runs in a bobsled.
Oh, wow.
That was like the only video I have because that was before all the smartphones.
Yeah.
I mean, that was only 2007.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
But see, even that you can't do that kind of stuff.
No,
anymore.
my joints can't take it. I don't recover as well.
Right.
I start paying attention to my irritability levels.
Yeah.
How my brain's working. Like, it's hard for me to recover from things compared to when I was younger.
Right. Well, I do notice even with my Aura ring, it's right now it's telling me pay attention to my HRV and my resting heart rate's been a little bit higher than it likes it to be, and I'm like, what's different? Might have been a little more stressed this week.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the other thing is that the stress of life impacts your ability to recover from your training.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's super wild.
Yeah. But
I was reading some stuff, and it's become really apparent in the world of sports. They're putting more and more emphasis on rest and recovery because they recognize the more rested and recovered an athlete is, man or woman, the better they're going to perform, the better the brain's going to work, the less risk of injury they're going to have, the better decision-making they're going to make, the better the reactions are going to be. You can't do that stuff when you're tired.
Yeah. Well, that to me seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But that's not how, as when we talk to my kid, that's not how it's approached.
No. And unfortunately it's not. But
yeah.
It's becoming more and more the reality.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean more and more the reality that people are realizing how important it is?
Yes.
Okay.
In the world,
okay.
People that are working in the world of performance.
Yeah.
Whether it's business performance, sport performance.
Yeah.
With warriors, like the level of stuff they do. It was really cool. One of my clients just spent some time with a coach, a strength coach of I think it might be a Delta Force team or something like that. And he goes, it was awesome. He was talking like you talk.
Oh.
Like he was realizing like they can't just like beat the hell out of him every single day and expect great things out of them. And they're not sleeping.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing out. It's called operator syndrome, like special forces, and the damage it does to their bodies over time. And there's a ex-Navy SEAL who's a doctor that specializes in that.
Because I was going to say, isn't that part of like a Navy SEAL's training? Is all the sleep deprivation and all that crap?
For the first 30 days,
well, that's still a long time.
Well, yeah. But they're using that to see who genetically can handle it without breaking.
Oh, and then you're out if you can't.
Yeah, if you tap out, you're out.
Oh.
Yeah, so they put them through this really aggressive protocol, and then they give them a period of time to go rest and recover and heal up from all the damage.
Okay.
And then by the sounds of it, once they're on the teams, the training is getting way better.
Oh, okay.
It's not just beat the hell out of you every single day.
Okay.
Like grind. Like no. And then even when they send them out, like when they go, I was talking to one of my clients, ex-Ranger, I think he was out on like 3 months at a time, where like all his deployments were, because it was an aggressive 3 months,
right?
And they bring him back and help him recover. And,
okay, well, that's nice that they're aware of that now.
Yeah. It sounds like, again, I'm not in the middle of it. I don't see it,
right?
But it's really cool to hear the conversation with this gentleman who's like the strength coach for a Delta Force. Those guys are gnarly.
I bet.
I think that's what it was. It was really cool how he was talking. Because I've had to rewire my guy who was an ex-Ranger, because he's used to he hired me. He's like, dude, I just need you to stop stop me from hurting myself.
Oh, okay.
He goes, I just, all I know is go like hell, and it doesn't work out in my 40s.
Yeah.
And so it's been, he's like, oh, it's so cool hearing him talk, kind of saying a lot of the same things you were saying. And the workouts they're now doing compared to when I was in it all is like drastically different.
Like, okay.
Yeah. They're real, like rest and recovery are vitally important for success.
Yeah.
How you look, how you perform, how you experience life. When we are fatigued and tired, it's not pretty.
Right.
We don't look good. We don't feel good. We don't perform well.
Right.
But we're told to go do more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Kind of went on a little rant there.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, perfect. It's about perfect timing.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Good spot to end.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right.